Hi, I'm Wade.
And I'm Lorraine.
And we are
on the off-ramp. Here we are, camping. Glad to be doing that. We haven't camped that much now this summer in Manitoba, so it feels good that we quickly, the last second, decided to go camping.
Yeah, last minute trip, and we are staying right now at
Big Whiteshell.
In the Whiteshell Provincial Park. So
this is in Manitoba, Canada.
Yeah, and we enjoy it because it's a bit more of a remote campground than many others. So
yeah,
we don't have any cell signal or anything like that here, so it gives us a chance to get caught up on other things.
Yeah,
get our videos caught up.
Disconnect, can read a few books.
That's right.
You play some guitar.
Yeah.
So if you were with us in our last video, you will have heard about the fact that we wanted to tell you about some of our highlights. And we did that in the last video and promised that the next video, this one, will share with you some of the challenges and some of the costs that we incurred.
Yeah, some of the costs we incurred.
And we are a little, like, actually, what Wade did is made a spreadsheet for me using Google Spreadsheets, and I wrote down everything. If we ran into McDonald's even to pick up a little something, the receipt got written down, and I think there might be a few things that were missed, Wade, but I feel like we caught every single expense on this trip.
Yeah, there is a few little things probably, like if we paid cash or whatever, then those things would have been missed. A few Milky Way bars, perhaps, or
yeah, true,
or things like that.
But we really wanted to have a sense of what this trip cost us, and it's very easy to just kind of go with the flow and spend the money, which we did, but now we have been doing the adding and taking a look at it and going, whoa, okay, well, then what would we change?
That's right. There's lots of things I think we would, well, I don't know if lots, but there are definitely a few things we would change if we were to do it this way again. But what we're going to do now is review some of our expenses, just to give you guys an idea of what you need to budget for a long trip. I mean, we were gone for just about 4 months, and we've converted everything over into Canadian dollars, so we're dealing in Canadian dollars here. And
yeah. And you need to know that we did a lot of research before we left.
That's right.
And our jaw kind of dropped as we were going over these numbers when we got home, and we kind of go, are you kidding me? But to be fair, we did read, everybody said expect to spend more money than you thought, and a lot of people indicated that it was around $5,000 a month.
Yeah, and I think that's 5,000 US, I think.
Yeah, people that we've watched on YouTube
the YouTubers
have told us. Yeah.
And they said budget for about $5,000 a month, which I thought was high. I thought,
we'll do it for less.
That.
So stick around to the end of this video.
And we'll give you some totals at the end.
Some totals.
But we'll give you some breakdowns now for starters.
Well, first of all, what were the categories that we tracked?
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's explain that.
So categories.
Excuse me as I pull it out on my iPad, because we've got it all on here. So you got this, Wade?
Okay, so the first category was fuel, I think.
And you've always been, is the word right, fastidious about putting...
I don't know, I've never used that word.
I haven't either. Let's just say he was just like anal. He's always been really careful about putting down tracking your mileage because of your business.
Because of running a business, I always do it for that anyway, so I track all my mileage on my car.
So I feel like fuel is the most accurate here.
Yeah, we didn't miss anything.
I don't think so. Okay, so fuel was the easy one to keep track of because we do that normally.
Yeah.
And we won't share the figures just yet. The other one, that was a bit of a surprise, although we left Manitoba knowing we would have to do some repairs on the van.
Yeah, we expected
there'd be something. We just didn't know what that ticket price. And when
what
we get
it
to
looked like,
when we get to that one, we'll give you some tips on how to handle repairs on the road.
Yeah.
So then the other one was our camping costs and hotels. Now our camping, interestingly enough, our hotels...
Well, we can break that down later too.
Okay, we can. Yeah, so that's another category. Another category was groceries. We tried to keep track of that very closely. Restaurants, we tracked that. A little surprised by that data. Mm-hmm. I think we've learned a lesson there.
Yeah.
And then another one, okay, this was hard. We had two categories, one called supplies and one called miscellaneous. And the miscellaneous one had like personal items when I went shopping. But the supplies one had Wade's golfing, and the car rental. So I feel like supplies and miscellaneous are kind of messy.
Yeah, it is a bit of a messy one, but for now, that's just the way we broke it down. So
Yeah, like even propane for the van went in that category. So
propane and even the small propane cylinders that we had to purchase.
it's kind of like unplanned spending,
Yeah.
right? Stuff that you have to buy on the way. And,
Yeah.
and
So
yeah, that's all our
yeah.
categories.
So let's get down to some totals here by category.
Okay.
Okay, so in the order of the
The list that we have here.
list that we have, the table of contents. Just a thing on the fuel as well too. So I have started this when we bought the van back in 2017. I started tracking all of our mileage at that point. I have not missed a single fill since then, and the amount of kilometers that we've put on.
Crazy.
Which we'll say that at the end of the video as well too. We'll kind of give you an idea of how many kilometers we put on as well too.
Oh yeah, and you could say here how many miles we get to the gallon. Right?
Yeah.
American gallon or Canadian?
No, okay, yeah, but okay, so we'll get into that. So fuel-wise, in spending and tracking all of our fuel, we spent
$2,970. So round it to 3,000, and we put on how many miles?
So we put on about 15,000 kilometers, so that'd be
Yeah,
about
kilometers, sorry.
10,000 miles, about 16,000 kilometers, I guess.
So that's what it cost us.
We're getting smoked
We're
up.
getting smoked out. We've got a fire going here.
When we crossed the border, the price of diesel
yeah.
fuel in South Dakota, our first fill was $3.50 a gallon, U.S.
US.
gallon. U.S. By the time we got to California, we were paying $7 a gallon. So by the time we got to California, our fuel price doubled. Once we got back in Oregon, then things got better.
It got
again.
down a little bit, but overall the prices were much higher
Yeah,
than when
much-
we left.
yeah,
As
that's right.
everybody knows, it was this time of
Yeah,
year,
it was,
right?
yeah, it was because of so many things that hit the world at that point. So that was our average price of fuel. So we spent, how much was it again?
$2,970 on fuel,
In fuel.
Canadian dollars. So we took everything that we purchased with American dollars and actually
And converted.
converted
And
to
I think I
Canadian.
used 1.37 as our conversion rate,
Okay.
which is pretty
If
close
that-
to what we were paying.
Yeah, if that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
We did well on gas mileage.
Yes.
Our fuel mileage, we've averaged about 26 miles a gallon Canadian with our van since we purchased it.
Well,
We've been as high as 28 and 29 and as low as 23, 24, depending how we drive.
This is a 2006 Free Spirit leisure van,
Right.
and it doesn't have the.
There's no DEF. There's no
yeah.
diesel additive for the fuel.
So it's one of those older models which has got better gas
Yeah,
mileage.
it's a little 5-cylinder and it just purrs beautifully. So
Now that being said, while we were traveling, we knew already before we left that there would be some repairs. And here in Winnipeg, we had taken our van to Mercedes. They do Sprinter vans. They could guess what might be wrong with the problem, but in the end, they didn't want to fix it without knowing for sure.
there were
and
no data codes coming up at that
no
point.
data codes coming
Yeah.
out. So we kind of suspected that on the road we would have to do a repair. Now everybody says that in the RV world. Expect it,
Expect
right?
it.
Expect it.
So we did, and of course it happened.
Yeah, and you can watch those videos to find out exactly what we did. I think 3 different stops to get the final repair.
Yeah, that's right.
So this totals those 3 stops,
And
and
our repairs also include a full oil and filter
Yeah,
change. So
which it needed.
Oil filter, fuel filter, and air filter, and then of course the oil change. So that's part of our total repair.
yes, that's true. So all totaled, $3,900. Ouch.
Yeah, that was a little bit more than we expected, but
And-
boy, it runs nice now.
And I have to say, I really want to slip in another cost here.
Oh,
And this is a tip for you people who are getting repairs on the road. If you are waiting for parts, look at the dealer and say, this is my home. I will go park it at a campground. Now that's assuming it's a little bit drivable still. Ours was.
Yeah,
We could still drive it, not, probably not safely or not up any hills.
not far anyway. Yeah.
Yes. So what we did is we went back to the campground. They called us when the parts were in, and then we went to have the repair done because.
But that was in Palm Springs.
Yes, because in Arizona they took the van, took it apart, then waited for parts, and we went, oh shoot, now we have no place to live. And so we ended up having to spend about $1,000 on hotels.
Yeah, it was
Ouch.
$300 a night US in Gilbert.
Yeah.
And that was a basic hotel. It wasn't
Yeah.
fancy, but that was just what the cost was.
Anyway, so I feel like that's an added
That's
cost that we've learned from. We could have avoided that. Hey, open that.
so-
We want that sound. The
Oh, yeah.
sound of the Coca-Cola opening.
nothing like the sound of a can of Coca-Cola opening up.
That's his drink choice. All right, so as we just mentioned about the camping, about being in the hotels, so we have a category that we just call camping and hotels. That's what we put on there. When we left Winnipeg, it was cold. So the first night we stayed using points.
Yeah, so I use hotels.com app, and we ended up with a free night. So our first night, which was in Sioux Falls, Sioux City? Sioux Falls, I think.
I don't know.
We spent a free night there, and then
the next night
was in Wichita, Kansas, and we paid for a hotel there.
Not an expensive one.
It was a nice hotel. It was $75 a night, so quite reasonable.
So our total camping and hotels, and remember we have that one where we had to do the repairs on the van. Camping and hotels, the total cost was $6,750. Now we had some really cheap campgrounds. We had 2 weeks where we were volunteering in Tyler, Texas, and we didn't pay for spots there. And we had a few other spots where it was really cheap or almost like nothing.
Almost nothing, yeah. Like we bought a Texas National Park Pass, and we stayed in a couple of campgrounds there. And when
State Park Pass. National Park?
Yeah,
state.
No, yeah, we did buy, sorry, yeah.
We did both, actually.
I actually said that wrong. So we did buy both. We bought a National Park Pass and a State Park Pass.
Which
With
is
the
great.
National Park Pass, when we were in Del Rio, we actually stayed for, I think it was $5 for the one night. Is all I think something like that is all we had to pay. So, and the National Park Pass cost us $18 or $20 or something like that.
Because of our age,
Because,
that helped.
yeah, we were over 60, so I mean that helps. So if you are over 60, by the way, and you are traveling to the U.S., buy the U.S. Park Pass. It's wonderful.
So that total cost of camping and hotels was $6,750.
Yeah.
And now that's about 3 weeks of free.
And that included actually more because the National Park Pass let us stay at Pins, which is Padre Island National Seashore. We stayed there for free. We were there for 3 nights.
Because we had the National Park Pass.
And because we had the National Park Pass, we stayed there for free.
Now, actually, the hotels added up to about $12.92 Canadian.
Yeah.
So in reality, our camping, our actual, where we parked our van, at one time we did use a rest stop. That was interesting.
Truck stop.
So our total for the camping was $5,500. You guys adding up our trip so far, I know the total is going to surprise you at the end.
So yeah, and then there was a few places we stayed that were nice and affordable. So even when we stayed at South Padre Island, it was a municipal park. It was $12 to get in, and then you could stay for up to 30 days.
Yeah, that was great.
We stayed 3 nights. 3 nights there, 3 or 4 nights there.
That's the one where we got stuck.
Yeah, that was the one where we got stuck. But and again, that was I think only $12, and that was just to get in. So
now eating on the road. What does that look like? I think in our
looks like this.
Well, in our imagination, we were going to do this: sit by the campfire, cooking, using our barbecue. We didn't do that as much. We cooked inside the van way more than I thought we would.
We ended up with cooler temperatures way more than we thought we would.
Well, there's that too. So
when it started in Tyler, we were there for 2 weeks. The day we arrived, it was 26 or 27 Celsius, and then it got cool. A cold spell came through down to the day that we left. It had 2 days of below freezing temperatures. So our pipes were starting to freeze in the van. So that affected where we cooked.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's the difference between traveling and camping. Maybe that's another piece. And that's another discussion. So groceries and restaurants. I don't think we imagined that we would spend as much on restaurants.
No.
Groceries comes to about par with what we would spend on groceries at home per month. But this was $3,050 on groceries.
Just groceries, not restaurants.
And I have to say, grocery shopping was like an activity, wasn't it? Because we went to so many neat grocery stores, different than what we have at home. So it was like, this was fun. Anyway, but restaurants, we spent $3,200 for the holidays. So we feel like we went out to eat way more than we realized. And some of them were pretty nice restaurants as well.
Yeah.
So it's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
I don't regret it, but we might do something different.
Yeah, hopefully we would have warmer weather next time. We could do less eating out.
All right.
Okay, now, for all those non-categorized expenses.
No, we didn't know how they fit them in. Didn't know where to put the car rental, for example.
Yeah, we didn't want to get too specific with all of our expenses, but yeah, the car rental or the number. We went golfing a couple of times.
I went shopping.
Yeah, I did some shopping too. Grain did way more than I did, but yeah, we did both go do some shopping. And what else would have been in there?
Let me see. Ferry rides we put in there. We
Yeah,
had to cross on the ferry twice.
Yeah, we crossed the
That
ferry
was about,
twice.
what, about $120 each?
Yeah, something like that.
Nothing huge, but that's where we put that.
yeah.
We put it under miscellaneous and supplies. And in the end, those were two separate categories, but things could have been in either one. So hard to say. So here we go. Miscellaneous was $1,780. And then the supplies one, and that included our propane, which we didn't buy often.
Shucks, it included nail clippers.
Yeah, okay, that's true, because we leave them in the van. So that was $2,342. So total about $4,000 on,
Between the two miscellaneous
yeah,
accounts.
kind of unexpected expenses. So there you go.
Yeah, so before we go into our total, just some of the things, what would we change if we were to do this again?
Are you still with us?
Are you losing hope, or are you thinking this is doable? There's a few things you can do to change. I think one of the first things that we've been looking at is more boondocking.
Yes.
Campgrounds were expensive. We paid in Ventura. We were in Ventura, California. We were in a very nice campground, but it was $95 a night.
Was it Ventura, or was that?
That
oh
was
yeah.
Ventura. Yeah, that was that gated. It was a
Oh,
gated.
well, it had security too, so that
Yeah.
was pretty amazing. It was a great campground.
Yeah,
There
it
was
was a
lots
very
of
nice
people there.
campground. Lots of things. It wasn't
More like
rough
an
camping,
RV
it wasn't
park.
Nice. It wasn't like being in the redwoods, but it was still a nice
Yeah.
place to park. So there are things that we could do differently. Now, we do have one challenge, one big challenge, and that is I use a CPAP machine, so I do need power. we did try running something off of our inverter that is built into the van, but it was only a 150 watt inverter, and it popped pretty quickly and burnt out. So
Yeah, we're learning more about battery power, and we're watching other people, and it sounds so like another language to me, but our batteries are not going to be able to sustain us
we have
for more
two-
than one night, maybe, for your CPAP.
yeah, we have two deep cycle lead batteries, or AGM batteries, and then we run an inverter off of that. We are looking for a new inverter now, but I'd like to get something from 1,000 to 2,000 watts in that range. I don't quite know how it will affect our battery usage yet. We are considering buying lithium batteries when these older two batteries for the coach run out. But again, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we watch a lot of videos
So-
about batteries,
Yeah.
more than I want to watch.
So, but we do, that is one of the things we can do to change is start doing more boondocking.
Yeah.
We do have a generator on board the van, but we try not to run it if there's other campers around, because we don't want to disturb other campers either. So.
I mean, it's handy, and we've used it, but then you want to be far away from somebody else to do that. And another thing is, if you remember, our trip was straight south from Manitoba into Texas, and we did a big loop, then through California, Oregon, Washington, ended up back in Canada and came across. So it was a massive circle. And I think what we'd do different is we'd go to a destination, lovely and warm, whatever that destination is.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And hang around that area, maybe go to 3 or 4 different parks or different campgrounds or different areas within there. And then when it's somewhat nicer in Manitoba, we'd head back home. So
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's what we're thinking.
now when we traveled in 2022, temperatures across North America were just all well below normal seasonal temperatures. So I mean, that interfered with our trip to a degree as well too. It kept us inside our van more than we wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
We were still outside as much as we could be, but when it's snowing or raining or ice rain or cold, then you tend not to be outside as much. So we could save more money by being more careful that way. And this is not to say we would change the trip we just did.
Oh no, it was.
no.
We don't. It was what we
loved
dreamt,
it.
and
Yeah.
we wanted to do it.
Yeah, and it was a 4-month trip, and it was fun, and we loved it. But the next time we do it, there are some things we would change to make it different.
It was hard being away from our kids and from friends for that long. So 2 months would probably be perfect.
Yeah.
But anyway, that being said, so here's the big sticker, and before you drop your jaw on it, we just did a comparison on what this would be like. So this is over 4 months, remember, and Wade and I have done these all-inclusive trips to Mexico. Great, sit on the beach, all the meals, all the drinks. Okay, what does that usually cost us?
That usually costs us around, anywhere from, I think our lowest cost one was one to Cuba for $2,000.
Yeah,
but
there was a reason for that
we spent,
price.
Yeah, we spent over $4,000 per couple going to some of the nice resorts in Mexico.
So there you go, $4,000 for a week.
For 1 week.
And this was $24,000 for 4 months.
Right.
Averaging at about $6,000 per month, remembering that $3,000 of that was repairs on the van. What would I change? I think we'd...
Nothing.
Nothing would change. Well, maybe not eat out as much.
Yeah, I think
learn
that's
to
our
do more
biggest-
sandwiches on the road and all that kind of stuff
That's
too.
the
But,
biggest thing that change is the eating out.
and we don't, maybe the shopping. I don't. Who knows?
I'll have to learn to eat sandwiches, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll have to care for sandwiches.
Yeah. So, what do you have any questions for us? What do you want to know? Did we help you decide? I think if you're going to do a trip like this, be ready to spend the money and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Know that it's doable for less. You could go not as far, you could go less amount of time. But, if I were to translate that into a, all-inclusive trip or hoteling it, there's no way we could do it. Or that it would,
No, it would be harder on the bank at that point. I mean, for us,
Yeah.
it was, this was our retirement dream. It was our plan to do a trip like this. So,
as soon as we bought the van before we were retired, we went, this is what we're going to do someday.
yeah.
And we did it. We did it.
And we definitely want to do more. It was definitely enjoyable.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So now stay tuned. In the next few weeks, we'll give you an update of our summer camping in Manitoba. This is, I think, our longest stay that we're going to be anywhere. And this is at Big Whiteshell Park. So and the weather's supposed to be nice and hot this week. So
Keep following us. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Leave your comments. We love hearing from you. And would you do a trip like this?
Yeah.
And could you live in a little van side by side for 4 months? Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah.
It was working really well. So yeah, hit the like, subscribe, and
the bell,
ring the
all
bell.
those things.
Join us. And thanks. And you know what? We're planning to do another trip south. We don't know for sure. We're just in the middle of trying to debate where, what, when. And you know what? We have learned to hold our plans loosely.